And good morning. Welcome to my favorite Monday morning program, Monday Momentum, live and in person from Baltimore, Maryland. I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today and being here. We're all so excited that we can have Monday mornings together. And I just want to say welcome to Chuck Howard, welcome to Sarah Coolidge, and welcome to everyone across the country. I'm so excited that we can all be here today. A couple of business items to take care of. First and foremost, I'm going to pull the shade so we can see each other better. Got this beautiful Baltimore, Maryland sunlight hitting my face this morning. Hopefully that is a little better. That's great. I don't look so blocky this morning. This morning I want to talk about how momentum keeps us moving forward in sales again. I'm very excited to be talking about the way that you can work together with some of the tools that are online and available to you for free these days. As far as promoting our own events, what I do and how you can use those tools as well. I know most of you realize that there's this wonderful networking tool out there called Facebook, but I bet you're wondering how you can use Facebook to actually reach more people, not only engage them, but make some real money from them. Let me first start by saying that this idea was brought to my attention first by a good friend of mine out in California named Brian Tarr. And Brian and I had a wonderful idea about getting started online and doing educational courses several months ago, but we didn't actually join in and dive into that method yet. So we're going to be doing that too, and I hope to see Brian online soon. But what I will say is that he brought to my attention how many people know that they want to be on Facebook, but they're just not exactly sure how to get on Facebook and use it to make money. I've done a lot of research with many different televised or Google Hangouts or video conferencing, all kinds of different authorities on how to use Facebook to make money. But it was often very difficult for me to use those tools and actually see the money come to fruition. So I'd like to talk about that a little bit today. This morning I want to welcome one of my best friends. She's right now at the most wonderful place on earth. She's out in Las Vegas, well, Henderson, Nevada, at CEO Space. And Sarah, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I was just telling everyone that I'm going to be talking about Facebook and how to really make money from Facebook, but let's do introductions. Let's jump right in. You look so beautiful this morning. Oh my God, were you waiting for me to call you?
Well, as long as we don't talk about my eyeballs, just don't look at my eyes.
I can hear you. Are you there?
Can you hear me better now? What am I doing wrong?
I see your pretty face, but I can't hear you talking. Let me just introduce Sarah a little bit more until I can hear her voice, because I can't hear her quite yet, and I'm sure she's going to start talking and getting all worked out. Sarah and I met at CEO Space, which is a wonderful group of people who come together in a membership organization. It's a lifetime membership organization that meets 5 times a year out in Henderson, Nevada. Many people have said to me, why would you meet in Henderson, Nevada? Why would you meet in Las Vegas? And I'll tell you the reason that I was told, and it makes so much sense, which is that you never have to worry about the weather being too bad. There's no rainstorms, there's no snow, and it's the least expensive place on earth to fly to. So with all that being said, we were introduced to how wonderful it could be to go to Henderson. And out in Henderson, Nevada is an absolutely awesome 5-star Westin resort where we meet. We all come together, and as business owners, entrepreneurs, investors, and inventors, we talk about our businesses and we ask for what we need next. And when we need something next, we share that information with everyone and go from there. Sarah, can you hear me, or can I hear you a little bit?
Well, I don't know. Can you hear me?
You're bouncing. Let's see. Let's see here if I can get you to talk. Are you there?
I'm here, but you can't hear me. I don't know why.
I can hear you now. Wonderful. Live in person. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, now, well, I'm hoping you can see me because I've done something magic to my phone and now I can't see you anymore. And I don't want to mess around with it.
Yeah, actually, I can see your beautiful profile picture. It's actually not.
If you can see me and hear me, we're in good shape. And I'll figure that out in a minute. I'm so glad to be with you.
I'm so happy you're here. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. So tell me a little bit about the weather out in Henderson.
Oh, well, I don't know what you can see when I do that. I mean, the weather is fabulous. It's beautiful. And we were here in June, and it was really, really hot in June. It was so hot we couldn't go out of the hotel hardly at all for more than about 1 minute, and then we had to rush back in. And it's nicer now, which seems funny. To me, June should not be as hot as August, but I'm taking it. I like it. And this time I'm going to get to go running. I didn't dare run last time. Weather is fabulous. We did have a little bit of rain, which, you know, maybe you don't like and you don't think is fabulous, but for a desert, it's fabulous whenever it rains. So that was also nice.
Oh, I think
and we're, you know.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what you've been working on, and then tell me, like, who you are, how we met, and what you're doing and what you're working on, what your project is, because I would love to hear about that this morning.
Well, it's really neat to get to talk to you today because I have a little story from yesterday, and I don't think it'll take more than a few minutes, and you can, you know, tell me when you want me to tell it, but it was nice to realize that, oh, good, I have a chance to tell somebody this right away because it was a nice moment for me. We've had a really great week here, and you know how that is, but I'm still amazed at how much happens here and how it just builds on itself, you know, moment by moment, day by day. By the end of it, you've got so much to work with that it's I mean, it's just remarkable what happens when people come together to help each other and work on stuff together with that spirit. It's just
tell me your story. I'm dying to hear this story. I want to hear about it. I know yesterday was implosion. So yesterday was the day when I don't want to give anything away to anybody who's never been to CEO Space. I just want to say that yesterday was the big day. Yesterday was the hoo-ha. So tell me your story. I'm dying to hear it.
Okay, well, you know, I haven't thought much about how to tell it, so we'll see how it goes. But I think you know, Julia, that I used to work in the kitchen. Yeah. I was a cook for a long time. And for those of you who are listening, you know, it's my firm belief that every single person on this planet should either, and forgive me, armed services, if you think this is disrespectful, but either work in a restaurant or be in the armed services, or both. That everybody needs to go through an experience like that of serving like mad to be able to appreciate the other people that have done it, because otherwise you just don't know and you take for granted so much. And again, there's no disrespect intended. I just feel as though there's something that happens to us when we work in a restaurant, when we work serving people, that if you've never done it, you just don't know what the heck is going on there. And it's a very deep experience, actually. It doesn't need to go on forever, however. And that's where my story starts, because I did do it for a really long time. I was a cook for a long time. I was a line cook. And a line cook means, you know, there's there's more than one person, usually, let's say more than 4, standing on a line with grills and fryers and various pieces of cooking equipment. And we all have our little stations, and we're all working. And the waitresses are bringing us orders like mad, or wait staff, forgive me again. And it's sort of like a challenge. If we like the wait staff, it's a good challenge. If we're in a negative environment, because some restaurants are kind of negative, or, you know, lots of places can be that way. Sometimes it gets to be, let's just beat the waitresses instead of let's, you know, serve the customer. So, you know, it can get a little bit off. But at any rate, we are on this line, and the orders are coming in, and it's dinner rush, so there's a lot of them. There's hundreds of people, perhaps, in the dining room, all wanting to eat basically at once, and we have to make their food. And what happens when you're working with a good crew, a crew that everybody knows their own job, and everybody knows a little bit about the other person's job, the person that's standing on either side of them at a minimum. And what happens is this magic thing where we get going, we get working, the orders are coming in, it's hot, it's noisy, things are happening, and you reach for, you know, the bread that you're going to need next to put, you know, in the toaster, and somebody else is handing it to you. Or you reach for the plate, and it's already there. Just these little things, because the other person is thinking the same way you are, and they know what you need next, and it's already on its way to you before you ask for it or before you even finish thinking about it sometimes. And I always loved that so much, as you can maybe tell just by watching me. I loved that magic. I loved it. And I was in an environment where I felt like, you know, at other times, I'm underemployed, I'm not making enough money, I'm not using my potential, I have a great big brain, why am I standing here making pancakes? But I loved that feeling. And I didn't realize until last night. We were talking at Implosion, and Hugh Ballou, who is one of our instructors here who has tons of experience working, conducting orchestras, conducting music, he was saying, he and Bernie were talking about, Bernie Dorman, who's our founder, we're talking about the magic that happens when people are cooperating, working together, which is what we do here at CEO Space. And something about what they said made me remember my time in the kitchen. And that was what it was. It was cooperation. And it was this shining moment for me because I can instantly forgive myself for all those little nagging feelings of why did you do that for so long? Why were you working in that place where you made so little money? Because I realized that was what was happening for me in the restaurant. I was getting a taste of cooperation, a taste of what happens, and I was in love with the feeling, and I didn't want to leave it. I didn't mind so many other things because I didn't want to leave that feeling where else I could go to find it. And I hope you're still there because my phone just went.
Yeah, actually, that was Linda Kay joining in. Welcome, Linda Kay from New Hampshire. And Sarah, that story really touches me. I have to tell you, you took me back to. I also worked in restaurants. Linda, did you ever work in a restaurant?
I did.
Oh, did you? I was a waitress. What were you, Linda?
Same thing, but I got to be quiet.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll let you be quiet. Well, I was a waitress, and I will one day tell you my funny story, or maybe I'll tell you today my story of being a waitress at Friendly's. I loved every minute of it. I got to tell you, there was nothing I didn't like about it. I loved it so much, and would do it again. Absolutely, would waitress again. I'd work at Friendly's again. I loved it so much.
That's something.
It was a magical time for me. I'll briefly tell you that I had always worked for my dad in his business from the time I was 8. My dad was an entrepreneur. And when I was 16, for my 16th birthday, all my girlfriends were getting their Sweet 16 presents, which was nothing really. We didn't have like big balls or whatever. But for my Sweet 16, my mother did the most wonderful thing. She woke me up in the morning. She came and she sat on my bed, and she reached over and she shook me, and she said, "Julie, it's your 16th birthday, Sweet 16, and this is what you get." And you know what she handed me? The one ads with ads circled in it. I was allowed to get a job outside of the home.
Oh my God, that's a great story.
I thought I was the luckiest person in the world. I didn't have to work in the family business for a couple of years. And I tell that story, I have to say, one of my favorite stories, because I just loved everything about it, from the very first idea that I was going to get to work outside of the house until I went off to college. Anyway, so I do understand loving the job. It was this thing for you that was so great. I loved the camaraderie. I loved the teamwork.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of it.
Mm-hmm. And it may be because we didn't get it, you know, I don't know what other people's lives are like. I only know mine. And I don't know how else you get it. But it was nice to realize that that's what it was. It was not that I liked the work, though, you know, I did, I guess, on some level as well, but the feeling.
I agree
So,
with you 100%. It was the feeling of working together. The interesting thing about my experience also was I had always gone to Catholic school, and at the time I was going to an all-girls Catholic school, which I loved. And at working at Friendly's, I was working with kids who went to public schools all over
yeah.
Howard County where I was from. And boys. I was working with boys and girls, and I was working with people from all different areas. And a couple of the girls were still in college that had stayed on there. And then, you know, they didn't have the same kind of rules they do now. I worked a lot of double shifts. I'd work open to close a lot of days, and I thought I was the luckiest girl on the planet. I just thought it was great. I thought it was fun to work with people I didn't know, people I wasn't used to working with, and I got to meet people from other schools. I thought it was great.
Mhm. And I mean, you know, I have so many memories of it in there, and I have so many years of when I was in the kitchen, when I was in restaurants, so many years of frustration with myself about, you know, how do I get out of this, and why am I here, and am I ever going to leave? And now I've been out for 20 years, so you know, I did get out, and yet it was wonderful to realize that there was nothing wrong with that time that I spent there. When I remembered yesterday listening to them talk, that's why I was there, and maybe I couldn't articulate it to myself or to anyone else, meaning my family, because my family was kind of like, you know, how long are you going to do that for? You got a master's degree and you're still you're still doing this. I mean, and I was telling myself that as well over and over again. But when I realized that that's what it was, and you know, our feelings are our real guideposts. And so it was a good feeling for me. It was a healthy feeling, and I was responding to it. And the reason that I didn't like myself for responding to it is that I bought into the idea that we all buy into, which is the only way to measure success is by income. And there wasn't much income coming out of that. And so, therefore, it wasn't a good thing to be doing, you know. But that's not true. There's so many more ways to get value than money, and we forget that. And so I just thrilled that I can kind of go back to the former Sarah, the one who used to wear, you know, this little paper hat and the apron and all the stuff, and say, good job, girl. You found something that felt good, and you stuck with it until you got full. Because we need that before we can move forward. All of us need that. And some of us get it, you know, maybe better from other things, from their family. Some of us, I don't know, I have no idea. But instead of thinking of, gee, I wasted 10 years doing that, because that's sometimes how I think, or almost 20 years. And now I think, well, good for you. You found something that felt good and you stuck with it, because feeling good is important. You can't do anything and you feel good.
I totally agree with you.
It wasn't not a waste of time at all. Plus, I'm a really good cook. and I know when I'm in a place like this or anywhere else, I mean, I know that I interact with the staff in a different way than many others do, and that's why I said what I said in the beginning about how I feel like everyone should either be in the armed services or work in a restaurant or both. And I do not mean to say that they are of equal caliber or risk or anything else, so please forgive me if anyone takes it that way. But I just think that when you've been in the shoes of serving, you will not ever not see another person the way sometimes. I mean, if you've been a waitress, you know this, and maybe Linda was, yeah, I think she said she was a waitress too, so I'm sure she knows this. There are people that will, you know, you will go to wait on, and they will not see you. It's like you're invisible. It's like you're not human. It's like you're not a person just because you happen to be the wait person right now. They won't see you at all because they're too busy in their own little world, and somehow the person that's serving them doesn't exist. And that ain't right. We're all of equal value. Just because somebody's got the waitress skirt on does not mean that she's no longer human. And you won't maybe know that unless you serve.
I would agree. I would agree 100%. Linda, just shake your head yes or no. Are you able to contribute? Are you able to contribute to the conversation, or do you need to be quiet?
Well, I moved outside. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Fantastic. I really.
Awesome.
So what can you comment on what Sarah was just saying? Because I just thought it was fabulous.
You know, I totally.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien. Y está bien también hermoso.
So I totally agree with what Sarah had to say, and yes, I did the waitress thing myself way back when. I was never really appreciated, but one of the things that I did do when my daughter, she was about 16 years old, is that she got a job, and lo and behold, she got a job at Friendly's, and she went through the Friendly University, and it was incredible training for her. But the interesting thing is she would come home sometimes and she'd say, Mommy, I feel so bad for, whatever this other waitress's name was. She said she has a family. She has little kids to support. She says, and I make twice as much in tips as she does. And the valuable lesson for her was stay in college.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Get your degree. So whether, waitressing is something that people are happy with, or waitressing is a stepping stone to other things, there's just tremendous value in serving others. So
I absolutely agree with you. My husband was in the Navy, and he has learned a lot. Well, that kind of brings me back to where I started in the beginning, which is a far cry from where we've gone. We started with me talking about how Facebook, how you can make money from Facebook, but you both brought in the most powerful message for a Monday Momentum phone call, which is this: cooperation and teamwork is going to get you farther, and respect for others and respect for others' service is going to get you farther. When you value the contribution of others, when you value the service of others, you're going to go so much farther, and I cannot express that enough as what you were talking about. When you see how it is to work and to walk on the other side of the street and come to this side of the street and see it differently, it's kind of like being an entrepreneur. If you've worked for someone else and you've chosen to make your lifestyle an entrepreneurial lifestyle or a sales straight commission lifestyle, you now can respect how hard it is to do both of those different kinds of lifestyles. I mean, I think you both agree with me on that. Is that true?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
Well, I didn't really have anything to say except for, I mean, I'm just sitting here loving where I'm sitting, and we've had an amazing week, and I'm thinking mostly of Wendy Lipton-Dibner and her message this week, which is perhaps her message all the time, which is if you go from how you're the impact you want to make, then everything else will follow, and that is also about how you feel and how other people feel. It's not about money. And the other piece of that is a message I got, I don't know, 2 weeks ago at an Abraham Hicks workshop that I was at, which was basically that if you imagine that we are, that you all alone are on an island, not because you're lonely or anything, but just imagine if there were no other people in the world, none of the things that you do to earn money would be necessary, meaning, if you're a writer, well, who would you write for? So you wouldn't need to write anymore. If you're a cook, who would you cook for? You wouldn't need to cook anymore. I mean, everything that we do for money depends on there being another person. And if there were no other people, we wouldn't do any of those things. And that helped me, anyway, to see that money is this intermediate piece. It's an intermediate piece between us, me, serving someone else.
Well, you bring up that very valid point, which is love what you do and the money will follow.
And there would be no need for any of it if there wasn't another person. So just start with the other person. Start there and trust. The money is just, you know, I mean, we talk about this. The money is a symbol, money is energy, money is whatever, and we're like, yeah, but money pays my bills. Come on, money, money, money. It's hard to not focus on it. I mean, you've seen that. I mean, we all know that. But if you think about this image of, well, yeah, if there were no other people, would I be doing any of these things? Whatever they are, my work, my book, my entrepreneur, my business, would you do any of it if there was no other people? No.
Oh,
none of it would be necessary.
For me, I very much am passionate about helping other people to grow. I would absolutely. I mean, and just
do it if there's no other people. If you are the only person that exists, it's not that it wouldn't be necessary.
No, it wouldn't. My job wouldn't be necessary, right? My job, my career. I mean, I guess that's true for both me and Linda. We're both web designers, so I don't know if they would. I don't know how necessary it would be to have websites for marketing if there were no other people.
Yeah, none of it would be, and that doesn't make it less valuable, but it actually points out the value. The value is in serving others. That's why money exists, to say thank you for serving me.
Well, that's true.
And if there were no other people to serve, we wouldn't need to do it. I don't know what we would do. I'm not trying to go there. I mean, I think we'd be lonesome if there were no other people. But, you know, I mean, right now there's a man over there, and he's doing his gardening morning, and I've seen him every morning. That's who I spoke with for a second. And this man is making this garden beautiful. And isn't that service for us? You know, he gets paid to do it, but it wouldn't be necessary if there was no other people.
No, but he would do it out of love and passion for gardening or for landscape.
I may not.
I see that. I really do.
The money is the link between the two. The money is the link between the person and the service.
What were you going to say, Linda? What?
I was going to say, like at CEO Space, when we help each other, when we give to other people, when we spend our time, you know, giving them free consulting and working with them, our payment is usually a hug. And that's just the most incredible form of payment. So that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, I agree with you there too. Well, in the last couple of minutes, I did want to bring up where I began, which was about the how do you make money from Facebook. So I would like both of you to jump in for me and offer any information that you have. What I wanted to talk about was how Facebook. A lot of people realize that Facebook is like a cocktail party. It is a way to engage and interact and communicate. But there was one essential, crucial tool that I have been using to promote different events. I don't know if either of you know, Sarah and Linda, that I do a lot of event promotion. People really count on me to bring other people to their event, so they hire me to get the word out. And in years gone by, I would do a lot of searching for how do I promote my event online because it was such a new tool. But I want to bring to both of your attention a great little tool that I use often, which are different groups. I go into Facebook and I can search for different groups that I'm a member of. And you two are both members of groups that I'm in too, right? There's a CEO Space rideshare group, and you know what I'm talking about when I say groups. Is that right? Yeah, Linda, you're nodding.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, is that... You're familiar?
Of course, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, if you go into the search bar of Facebook and you search for vendor group or event groups, or classified or free classified, there are all of these groups that have been started where people come together for the same common need. For instance, maybe they are a business owner or a small business owner who likes to do trade show type events, and they're looking for other events to do, or they're looking for ways to grow their business. I specifically point this out because the three of us, and many of the people that I know and work with, have a business that helps other business owners to make more money. And if that is the case, then vendor groups and classified ad groups are the ideal place to advertise information about your own business. And guess what it is? It is free. You don't have to spend a nickel, but you can get the word out. I am sharing this with you because this is actually a tested, I personally have tested this and had it work on several different occasions with many different clients, products, and services. So I would like to give you an example from a couple of different ways where this might work. The first example, of course, I was just giving was about events. I have different clients who have events that they're putting on, and they want to get vendors to pay for space at the event. And I can search under the group category for vendor and event groups. I can put up an ad that I have an event coming up, and if you're interested in having a trade show table, contact XYZ person. Linda, have you ever tried this before? You've got an inquisitive look. I'm going to pop over to you. Have you ever heard of this before or used this before?
I have not, but I am definitely going to be investigating it. It's an incredible tip, Julia, so
oh, good.
Keep going. I want to learn more.
Okay, great. Excellent. So basically what happened is I was invited well, not invited, but hired to work as an event promoter for a very large trade show, and we only had two and a half months to promote the event. That was the first time I did it, and I started searching for vendor events where people were specifically direct sales or home sales people. Like, for instance, I hate to throw out any specific names, but let's just say big ones that you know: Mary Kay, Tupperware, Scentsy, Arbonne. You know what I'm talking about. So a lot of people who have a home-based business that is direct sales look for trade shows where they can promote their events. And so I found a lot of these organizations through Facebook, and I would post an ad that if you were interested in having a table at that event, you could have it there. I will tell you that I almost filled up the entire event solely through free Facebook advertising, and almost within 2 weeks. And I don't know how to, I mean, Linda, you know what I'm saying, right? Like, that is a really big deal, right? Well, the same thing. Say that again? So what did you say?
You know, I have all these events that are coming up for me, and I'm like, okay, Julia, I can't take notes right now. I'm sitting here, but we're talking more later. That's for sure. I'll be watching this video again.
Awesome. Okay, I'm very excited. I wanted to add value today. The second event that I was invited to promote was significantly more expensive, a lot more expensive to have the trade show table, and a really, really minuscule reduced time frame. And this person came to me, and my portion of that project was to create a program booklet for all of the attendees to have an ad in. And he said to me, can you get me some more ad sales? And I said, well, sure, but it would make a lot more sense for me to focus on selling the trade show table, and then we can talk to them about the ad. We started doing it, and I didn't even tell the person that what I was doing, and I got an email saying, what is it that you're doing, and where are you running these ads, because I am getting so many phone calls. And it's just an amazing tool. I don't think we realize that it's a lot to say that you're going to go on and you're going to promote your own event, and you're going to say, hey, join me on XYZ place. But those are your friends. Those are your family. Those are the people who already know and love you and support you. But when I started going past the barrier and hitting these groups, these private join-only groups, and seeing 1,000 or 500 people in a group, these people were specifically interested in the product or service. Same thing works for people who, all right, for dentists. I have a lot of clients who are dentists. Well, who needs dental services? The kind of dentistry that my clients are doing is a lot of times cosmetic, so that's job seekers. If I'm looking to get a new job, I want to look my very, very best. I want to have white teeth, straight teeth. I want to get that denture fixed, whatever it is. So advertising dental services in a job seeker group.
How about in recently divorced group? People that are looking for a new romance are going to want to get their teeth fixed too. So throw that in the pile.
I love it. You're so right about that. And so I invite you to think of Facebook and think of engagement. I was going to talk a little bit about what engagement was. That's the communication back and forth. But I invite you to look at Facebook from a completely separate perspective, as if you've never used that tool before. That you're not on Facebook, you don't have 2 million friends that you're communicating with on a regular basis. Think about it strictly from the perspective of, how do I want to get my message to the right audience? We talked about target market last week a little bit. This kind of addresses that again. But what we're really coming back to is using this tool in cooperation from the perspective of how do I get this tool to work for me, because it's free. There's nothing better than free, except when they pay you. But I do want to say that we're at the end of our time. It has been a delightful Monday Momentum. I'm so grateful to my teammates Sarah and Linda. You all have inspired me, and you want to talk about knowing when I need the bread or knowing when I need the plate. The two of you ladies are just the top of the heap for, I mean, the symbiosis between the three of us is just, it just gets me every time how close we've become and how important you are to me. Linda, could you tell us where we can get in touch with you, a brief who you are and what you do and how we can reach you?
Well, who I am is a really good question, Julia. But where I am right now is CEO space. But I am Linda at lindakaye.com, and I am just an incredible resource for all sorts of online things. So happy to give a free consultation to anybody who wants to chat about it.
Awesome. Linda at lindakaye.com, and make sure you spell K correctly. Sarah, can you say who you are and where we can reach you too?
Darling, of course I can. And first I want to say how, I'm sitting here and I can't see you very well because I have to use my phone because of the internet here. But I am just like blown away by you and how you're just rocking this. And I'm remembering another story quickly. My stepfather was hugely involved with nuclear disarmament and big stuff, right? And he talks about his son who took on the same field, and he says, he used to be behind me, and then we were walking together, and then he started running ahead of me and took off and was flying, and that's how I feel about you right now, that we were like walking together and you're just like running off and bye, Julia, it was nice work. Not that I ain't going with you, but you're just rocking this, and it's so fun to watch and be part of. So kudos, good job, and if I had anything to do with any of that, I'm really, really proud.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. I'm really I'm welling up, so I don't want to do that. So,
that's what I'm good at.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's so nice. So how do we reach you, and what is it that you do, Sarah?
So I work. You can reach me at ceospacewest.com. I work a lot with CEO Space, and it's an organization to help businesses grow. That's all I can say about it in 30 seconds. But if you like the way we are talking with each other and the kinds of things we're talking about, I encourage you to follow that feeling and do some research about us. Find us on the internet, ceospacewest.com. And when Julia asked me what I do, there are many little or big things that I do, actions that I take, projects that I'm involved in. But I think what I do best is see things and remind you that you're a human being and that you're special and that we all are, all of us. So don't forget.
I would agree with that 1,000%. I certainly would. If you want to join us again, the three of us will be, I'm going to include Linda on this without even asking her because I love her participation. But if you enjoy this, join us every single. Hi, Thomas Furchow. Hi, Thomas. Are you joining us? Where are you located, Thomas?
I'm in Philadelphia. I'm going to jump in and join.
Hi from Philadelphia. You're talking to Julia, Sarah, and Linda.
Hi, Julia.
Hi,
Sarah, Linda. Hi. I just stumbled across your Google Hangout, and I thought I'd try to participate.
Well, God, we're so happy to have you here. I'm so excited. Do you two ladies have a few more minutes we could talk to Thomas?
I have a few more minutes, of course.
Okay, great. Well, if we need to jump off, we certainly will. Thomas, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I assume you're an entrepreneur, but is that a wrong assumption or a right?
No, that's an accurate statement. I've been in sales and marketing and executive leadership for over 25 years. Have had my own businesses and have worked for others. my background and experience is actually in helping people to enhance their brands and increase their revenue. I do that with companies and individuals, and am exploring new career opportunities right now. So that's a short story. I don't want to get into a lot of detail. We can do that at a later point.
I understand. You were put on the spot. Well, I don't think you could have found 3 more happy women to meet you.
Well, that's fantastic news.
Linda is cracking up. You can't see Sarah right now, but I guarantee she is rolling right now. Ironically enough, you have come to exactly the right place, because the 3 of us all do a little bit of that, right? A lot of that as well. So we're so grateful to have you here. Thomas, if you could do me the favor of sending me an email so I can stay in touch with you. My email is julia@juliaflynn.com. I want to be able to stay in touch with you and make sure that we communicate. I'm even going to put my email address up here on the screen.
Okay.
Just to give you a brief synopsis, we get together every Monday morning from 10 until 10:30. We do a real quickie that we call Monday Momentum. And Sarah, I'm going to let you tell Thomas a little bit about. Can you tell Thomas a little bit about how this got started?
Yeah. I can. I want to know why you can't see me. Is it true? I mean, I heard you say that, and of course I can't see anything. So if you can't see me and I can't see you, I'm kind of bumming. But I
can't see you.
All we can see is actually your profile photo at this point.
I wonder why.
Not real
okay,
sure.
well,
Beautiful picture, so good.
There's the email address. Julia, speak for a minute so I can grab that email address.
Oh, okay, I certainly will.
Julia Flynn Werre.
JuliaFlynnWerre.com. Basically, Sarah and Linda and I are all, I'm going to say business and management and marketing entrepreneurs.
Great.
And we met through an organization that helps us to enhance our business and business growth. I came to the organization focusing on education. I wanted to have an MBA without having to go back to school for many years. So I was looking for a business education. And Sarah and Linda can tell you a little bit about what they came for. The organization is called, I'm going to put it under my name here. The organization.
What the heck is that? I'm sorry. Something happened. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Sarah.
Well, that's weird. What the heck? I've gotten very muted now.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well,
I'm working on it.
The organization, I'm going to put up my link here, actually, for you, Thomas. CEOSpaceResources.com.
Okay.
CEO Space is the name of the organization we met through. It's an international business owners and entrepreneurs organization. A lot of leadership consultants, a lot of leadership people involved. And the 3 of us met there. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and Linda is from New Hampshire.
Okay.
And Sarah is in Lake Tahoe area, and we all met there. We meet people from all over the world there, and we got together and decided to do these Google Hangouts to help people stay focused and have momentum as we move forward every single week, because you know how it is as an entrepreneur. It can be really a challenge.
It's challenging, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. So
it's good to have a support team to keep you motivated and going in the right direction.
You got it. You absolutely got it. Sarah, are you still with me, hon?
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you plain as day. Absolutely.
Okay, because you've turned really tiny mouse voice, and I'm sure it has something to do with my phone. I was trying to. Now, if you could see me, all you could see was the inside of my ear, because that's.
Julia, tiny voice is so hard to imagine.
You guys are
So I don't know what you're looking at. I hope it's not the inside of my ear, because that wouldn't be very interesting for very long. Technology, isn't it wonderful? And isn't it? It's like it's amazing the things we have now that we can work with. But I'm just trying to keep up still. Okay, how do I make this work so I can see her and hear her? Oh well. So Thomas, I would just add to what Julia was saying about our, the idea of the money momentum is what she said exactly. That you start out whatever you start out with in your morning usually, but any project of any kind, if you start it and move in the wrong direction from the very beginning, it just takes off sometimes, and then all of a sudden the week is over and I didn't really get anything done this week, or, you know, today is over, the party is over, whatever the event in our life is. And so we really wanted to have a quick way, Monday mornings, to support small businesses and entrepreneurs, people like us that are often working on our own and trying to motivate our own little selves to go in the direction that you're going to feel like, okay, I did go forward this week. Maybe not as far or as fast as I wanted, but I didn't go backwards. I didn't stand still. I moved in the direction that I wanted to move, and the momentum that I got up and running that kept going even when I lay down at night, we kept earning money, or whatever the thing, kept moving forward without me. And that's what's happening with Julia. Oh, my God, I can't keep up with her anymore. She's just rocking this thing. And I'm like, okay, I'll try. I'll be home pretty soon. I'll have a computer then. Because now I'm stuck with a phone. But, you know, we can feed each other and help each other. And we want to do that for any entrepreneur that wants to join in with us.
That's exciting. I'm glad I stumbled across you guys, and looking forward to participating in the future. And maybe there's something I can do to help you guys as well.
We would.
Oh, there's tons you can do, I promise.
And he stumbled across in the nick of time because we were all saying goodbye, signing off.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm trying to
every
figure
Monday.
out. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to just say it's every Monday, and I heard Julia say once again at 10 o'clock, and I'm like, well, I think he's in Philadelphia, so that's probably okay. But it's at 7 o'clock on Western U.S. For those of us who are out here, it's at 7 a.m.
I always forget to say that. I'm sorry. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
well,
you'll remember someday, or I'll just use it as a chance to talk.
Right. When I text people and call people, I definitely tell them, well, I'm going to go and put us into a wrap-up mode again. Tom, I'm so excited you're here. I just it warms the cockles of my heart. So I'm going to have to say, we're going to sign off for this week. I want to remind everybody that to find us next Monday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. You can actually go to wordofmouthwired.com, look for the big orange button that says click big orange button, and that'll bring you right in for a landing. From here on out, I just want to say I think we're well on our way. Ladies, gentlemen, I'm so excited. I'm going to switch to a screen capture so you can see what that looks like. Once again, thank you, and high five, and I will see you later, signing off, and there we go. There's the big orange button.
Have a great week, everyone. Go rock it.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.